Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen. Yeah, see the alligator boy. Ride my famous murder ride. Most of all, don't forget to take home some of my tasty fried chicken. Ha ha! It just tastes so damn good.
Whoa! Well, howdy, folks. It's your old pal, Captain Spaulding again. Yes, I'm here to tell you about a brand new attraction. Mary, the Monkey Girl. Oh, yeah, that's right. This here little honey is half real human, half monkey. I brought all the way from the wilds of Borneo. So y'all come in and make sure you bring little Johnny and Susie with you. She'll scare the holy guacamole out of them. And remember, while you're down here, pick up your Captain Spaulding for President t-shirts. Come in all shapes and sizes. Small, medium, large, and jumbo for our big bone friends. We all know how you got that way, too, huh? Yes, from eating my delicious fried chicken. Oh, yes. Just keeps getting better all the time. God bless America, and God bless Captain Spaulding. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! Cool. Well, it's that time of year again when you, my friends, get to shell out all your hard-earned cash buying presents for people you don't even like. Why not buy them Murder Ride gift certificates? They last all year long. Bring little Timmy and Susie on down. We'll scare the tarnation out of them. Oh, and by the way, when you're down there, make sure that you pick up your Captain Spaulding for President t-shirts come in all sizes. It's the perfect gift for that special someone or something. Oh, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, ha, ha, ha. Merry Christmas, spend more money. Merry Christmas, right this way. Ha, ha.
Welcome, everybody, to They Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles. I'm being joined, as always, by Tim Johnson and Josh Lambert. Welcome, everybody, to a roundtable episode of They Cast from the Coast, where in this situation, we basically discuss about news, information, updates on horror and the community at large. So tonight's going to be some good discussion. We got some good topics, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't done one of these specifically in a while, so we're still going to try to keep with some that's fairly relevant, newer. So we'll go with that. So how's everybody doing, by the way?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Everybody's just eager to get into the discussions, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to throw the first topic out here. We discuss, and then we move on. But, gentlemen, the first topic, unfortunately, tonight has to be something very sad.
Yeah.
It is, unfortunately, one of the worst topics that we could potentially give out on this show. The passing of a horror legend and icon, SID HAIG, at 80 years old, passed away September 21st, 2019. Wow. Captain Spaulding himself, gentlemen, has passed on. This sucks.
It's the worst because he was doing better. He got out of surgery, he was healing up, he was doing better, and something happened. It just took a turn for the worst.
Yeah, exactly. There was multiple posts on his Instagram by his wife basically saying, hey, he's rebounding, everything looks great, and he'll be back to seeing his fans. Thanks for all the love, everybody. And then all of a sudden, gone.
Yeah.
Some touching call-outs by various people in the horror community, too. The one that actually kind of made me tear up a bit was Rob Zombie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here he is. He even posted an updated picture afterwards. I don't know if you guys seen the picture. But
the last time they were all together? Yeah, I saw it.
No, there was a different one. So his initial story that he talked about SID HAIG was when he first met Sid, getting ready for the filming of House of a Thousand Corpses. Mm-hmm. And they had met at one of the Hollywood costume shops that they were using for the production. And he walked in, and Sid HAIG comes out. He had already been there, and he was in a very ill-fitting clown costume. Looked nothing like what Captain Spaulding ended up being. It was very drab, but it was all like stained to shit and everything else. It was actually kind of interesting looking, but it was all like grays and like, taupes and shit. And it had like this little hat, and it was like one of those little spiky like cone hats for a clown. And it's just a picture of Sid Haig and Rob Zombie sitting there. Yeah. And it was like the worst looking clown costume. But it was funny because he told a nice little story about the fact that he comes out and he's like, what the fuck is this? And they all laugh. And he's like, nah, we're going to find something else. But right then and there, they hit it off and they became like, friends, literally to the end in this case. So sad day.
Yeah, it sucks. He was like one of the best things in both House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and I think it's cool that he was able to do one final kind of like farewell performance of Captain Spaulding in Three from Hell. But I also find it interesting that Adam, months ago, you said, I don't think Captain Spaulding is the third in the Three from Hell. And I go, why? And he's like, have you seen what he looks like in the trailer? And, blah, blah, blah. And then it just so happens like a couple, weeks, maybe a month later, like Rob Zombie comes out with this whole explanation like, hey, don't be surprised, but this is why he couldn't be in it. And I kind of had to write him out of it. And yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, that was it was a good expose and story as to what was going on and how he kind of treated the situation where Sid Haig was sick, but kind of give him a last hurrah. But it kind of felt like I kind of felt shitty because I was like, well, I just kind of felt like they were going to write out the character, you know what I mean? Because he's an older character and stuff like this, right? But then finding out that it all had to do with his actual health and shit, that it just
it's serious.
But,
he's one of the few horror icons I haven't met, and unfortunately never will now. He's someone that definitely seemed down to earth. All the fans that I've talked to that have met him, they definitely had good experiences.
Yeah.
Oh, just one of my favorite scenes, and like the Devil's Rejects, and I've got to use this because I cosplay as the Joker, and sometimes people like are uncomfortable, and I'm like, what, you don't like clowns?
Clowns, yeah.
Don't we make you laugh? Like, I just love that whole scene he has with that kid in the car.
I'm going to come back here, and if you ain't got a reason why you don't like clowns, I'm going to kill your whole fucking family.
Kill you and your mama.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, the lines that he spews in House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, I quote them all the fucking time. Right?
Yeah, they're timeless.
Well, fuck you very much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit like that. I love it.
He's priceless in House of a Thousand Corpses. And I mean, one of my favorite things, I got the version, the DVD version that has his...
Like commentary?
No. It's
the animated menu.
The menu. Yeah. Because I know newer versions don't have that, and that's why I've never rebought it. I think I own it on Blu-ray.
This set has it. Where you like go over the menu and he's talking to you as you're going. He's like, "What are you fucking stupid? Well, hello.
Yeah.
You want to pick your fucking scenes?"
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, stop wasting my fucking time here, people.
Yeah,
exactly. And he pulls out a nudie magazine, sitting there fucking reading it and shit. It's great. Ooh. Yeah. No, I bought the Blu-ray to upgrade from the DVD, and the moment that I popped in the Blu-ray and I found that it didn't have that menu, I kept the DVD too. So they're both sitting on the shelf, so, So, unfortunately, Captain Spaulding, gentlemen, peace, love, and respect to Captain Spaulding, and lots of love to his family, basically. From everybody at They Cast from the Coast, we're very sorry to hear about this. He will always be loved, and we're probably going to end up watching House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, and eventually Three from Hell when we get our hands on it many, many, many times over and over again. It'll probably never leave our collections. So
definitely.
Thank you, Captain Spaulding, for all the love and the wonderful, wonderful characters that you've absolutely played for us over the years.
Sid Haig.
Sid Haig, yes. I say Captain Spaulding. He's Captain Spaulding, man.
Yeah, I know, but you're like Captain Spaulding's family. I'm like, Captain Spaulding's family's kind of fucked up, Adam.
Well,
the Firefly family is kind of fucked up.
Well, love to them, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure to have a cone of Tutti Frutti ice cream in your honor.
Absolutely.
Tutti fucking
fruity.
Fruity. So, let's move on to another topic, though, gentlemen. Josh, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
you want to
So
mention
Wes
this.
Craven now owns the rights again. They've reverted back to Wes Craven after a bunch of foolishness.
Now,
It's about time for it to be back in its owner's hands.
Now, Josh, you would know better than me because I haven't been following the case, but has it been long and drawn out like the Friday the 13th rights?
Whenever
Like,
you're dealing with copyright laws, it's not as bad and not as publicized as the Friday, but Wes Craven wants the rights to his properties back.
Yeah.
That's
well, you know, and for anybody listening, just to be clear on this, it's his estate got everything back. So his wife and children and whoever else is basically running his estate.
Right.
But I mean, the rights battle was happening since well before he was dead.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a long drawn out thing even before he passed on himself.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they got them. They got it back.
Yeah.
What does this potentially mean?
What are they going to do with it? I don't know. But to have it back in the family estate, that's definitely where it belongs. Whenever you have your property and it gets licensed out and then all of a sudden you lose the rights to it, that's a shit situation.
Yeah.
People put their livelihood and all their work and lives in building these characters and properties, and then to have some corporation scoop them up, it blows.
Yeah. No, it absolutely does. Hopefully there's something that they can release or do with this. I mean, Freddie himself, Robert Englund, has been saying for the last year or so, he's got one more in him. If he really wants to do it, he's got to do it soon, though, because he's just like, I'm almost done with this shit. You know what I mean? He's getting up there in age.
And I heard it's because of the advance with the special effects. Like, he's not going to spend hours and hours. Like, literally, they could put a silicone mask on him now.
Yep.
And, like, I mean, I know, Josh, you own one, and you look like Robert Englund, and you don't look like Robert Englund.
Right. So you
know
slap
what I mean?
that sucker on Robert, and it's boom.
Yeah,
it's ready.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that he's saying that he wants to do one more. But I also find it interesting that he's like really like campaigning to have fucking Kevin Bacon replace him. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. Like, I'm not against that. That's Kevin Bacon can do crazy and scary and kind of fucked up, right?
I like Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's an all-around good actor. So if Robert Englund looks at him and says he could do it, kind of got to trust Robert Englund's thought on that, right? Because
I also wonder if it's like Robert Englund saw it, and he's like, wait a minute, Pennywise is doing what Freddy does, and it looks kind of better. Can you imagine what they could do with a Freddy movie today with Robert Englund? So I think it's awesome that he wants to, reprise his role, give it one last, and then, have someone who's he is, saying should take it up, and if you guys want to do more of these, right?
Yeah,
He is
even if it's
definitely a man who would do it just for fan service. Like when I got to meet him in London, he spent 10-15 minutes talking to me. It's unbelievable the amount of time he gives to each of his fans. And this is a convention with thousands of people there lined up to see him. And he wants to take the time for every single person to talk to them and get to know them.
Yeah.
He's all about fan service.
Yeah, I like that. No, I've heard nothing but good things about him, too. He's done a lot of low-budget movies, like independent films like Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer and stuff. And every report I've ever heard of him, even just doing the lowest of budgeted horror movies where he's probably just being paid the bare minimum of what they can afford for him, everybody said that he makes it the next big movie that he's in. Like, he gives everything to the production. And, he does great. I mean, Jack Brooks is a good movie, and his character's even better in it. It's kind of like a mix between, like, the Roach guy from Men in Black meets, Freddy meets, something else, right? It's really kind of cool the way that it works out, but it's good character, so yay! Nightmare on Elm Street, the rights are back in the Craven estate. This is good.
Now we just need the Friday rights returned.
Yeah, but I mean,
not necessarily returned, just settled
and left is, because that's something that I want to talk about in the near future. And I'm going to look to potentially get Vincent back on the show. Vincent DeSante, for everybody who knows, Never Hike Alone, writer, director, Ghost Jason extraordinaire himself. Was talking to him not that long ago, And he was telling me that there's some other things that people just don't really know about that's been going on that he's found out details from. And one of the biggest proponents about the real truth behind the situation is, surprisingly, Adam Marcus, director of Part 9. So I guess he was pretty close with Sean Cunningham for the longest time. And I don't know if they necessarily had a falling out. I don't know the whole story. But Adam and him are kind of not necessarily on talking terms anymore, and Adam has a lot to say about what's going on the other side of things. And he's actually
Sounds like Adam's a dick.
Yeah, Adams are always dicks, apparently. And but he's got a documentary coming out called, like, The Heart of Darkness, the story of Jason Goes to Hell, where he talks about a lot of the problems that he had working with Cunningham and the problems that are happening with the rights and why we haven't seen anything further. So he's got a lot of stuff to say. So I'm going to try to get Vincent on the show. Maybe he can give us or
a little bit of insight.
Let's try to get Adam Marcus on the show even.
After what I just said?
No, you were talking about this Adam being a dick.
Yeah, no,
Adams
I know,
and generals are dicks. You know?
Yeah, no, I know.
It's all good. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Dr. Sleep. The final trailer was released.
That last trailer, man, I was on the fence. It's one of the few Stephen King books I have yet to read. I haven't read the sequel to The Shining, but I know enough about it that okay, cool. The first trailer was cool, and I like that they kind of, paid tribute to the Kubrick film, and which I also found weird because Stephen King is involved with Dr. Sleep, and we all know his feelings towards the Kubrick film. So I thought it was, and it just made sense anyway. But this second trailer, man, wow.
Hits all the right notes.
Yeah.
It really comes across, now this is just me talking about this, it really comes across almost fan service. Like everybody loves Kubrick's The Shining, except for, like, Stephen King, really. But it is the ultimate version of The Shining, because let's face it, the miniseries one that Stephen King was more so involved with in the 90s, I fucking watched it once. I don't think I've ever gone back.
It's okay. I think if they were to remake it again today, it would be better. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be better. I think that, there's enough people out there that have, the love for anything Stephen King now. I mean, if you watch, I mean, do you remember in, like, the 80s and 90s, there's, like, so many, like, bad adaptations of Stephen King shit? But now it's like every one that has come out has been pretty good. Fucking good. Yeah. Like, you got
Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary, you got It, you got Gerald's Game, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
You got 1922, which that's one of the few short stories I haven't read yet, but it was a really good movie. Aside from The Dark Tower, which I don't want to talk about. Don't want to talk about it.
But we got new properties coming too that look really good. Into the Tall Grass, the one that he wrote with his son Joe Hill.
Yep. And I also heard rumor that it's gone. It's gone.
It'll come back to you. To you. You heard rumor on something. Keep that thought going.
Yeah, just another book that was getting made.
Oh, Liza's story.
Yeah, Liza's story.
Yeah, because we had been talking about that because I had that special edition book that I gave you, and as soon as it came up, it was like Julianne Moore signs on for Liza's story, and I'm like, ooh, got to tell Tim this, because he really liked that story. Ooh, and I like Julianne Moore; she's great. So that just kind of sold it for me there. Yeah. But yeah, the Dr. Sleep trailer, it looks good. I still feel that there's a little bit of fan servicing to it because the trailer alone, like maybe the movie, everything having to do with the original Shining is minuscule.
I think that's more of the trailer, like the hey,
pumping you up for the film.
Yeah, the promotional aspect of it, like, hey, this is the sequel to The Shining, right?
Which it has to. If you just named it Dr. Sleep, no one other than King fans would know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
the market of his movies are so much broader now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we're going to go see the movie and it's going to be like, 5 minutes of footage total has to do with The Shining.
No, I think that
I think
there's
it's
going to
more
be.
now.
I think there's going to be a big section where he's at the hotel.
Nice. Won't be as big as, say, Ready Player One, for fuck's sake. That was awesome. I know a lot of people even hate that movie just because it's a CGI fest, but the entire Shining section of that movie...
I was like, oh my god. I remember what I was going to say. They're doing the mini-series of The Stand.
Yes. Which is great. I can't wait to
With
see
fucking Bill Skarsgård's brother, and I can't remember his name.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård, yeah. Playing Randall Flagg, which I'm like, damn, okay.
Well, he played a good character in True Blood, Eric the vampire. He was a really good character in that, so it'll be good. But The Stand, the original miniseries, because we were talking about adaptations from like the 90s that were kind of wonky and stuff, right? But around the time that, It came out in the 90s, The Stand came out, and it was the Mick Garris edition. And I love Mick Garris's movies. And The Stand from the 90s is still one of the miniseries that I watch often. I actually really do enjoy it. I thought it was well done.
I've never seen it.
I've only seen it the once when it was on TV.
Yeah.
And I just remember the opening scene with Blue Oyster Cult. Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah. You got to marathon it, though, because it's like fucking 8 hours long, the whole series, right? And it's like in 4 parts, like 2, right? So it's good. It's good. I used to rent it on VHS, and it used to come in,
big
boxes and cassettes and shit. It was great. Okay.
Nice.
American
It's the
Horror
5-year anniversary.
Oh, it is. Why don't you talk?
Do you know
about
of what? One of the greatest horror films ever created.
Oh, fuck off.
Tusk. I love that film to no end.
Yeah, it was, and that was. I listened to Kevin Smith. I used to listen to his podcasts a lot then, so I love how like the idea was born on a podcast.
A ad, yeah.
Yeah, and like just the how they took it, and then here you are like a year and a half later, and I'm sitting in the theater going, "Holy shit!" Like I've been here this whole time, like this whole ride.
Yeah.
It was. I liked it. I thought Michael Parks is.
Loved it.
He was an amazing actor.
It means so much more for me because the actor Michael Parks looks so much like this old fella I know who acts so much like the character in the film.
Really?
Like it's uncanny.
Like you're gonna go to this guy's house one day and
he'll turn you into a walrus. Like straight up, he's full on loop, and it could happen. It could definitely happen with this guy. I would not be surprised.
I have a love-hate with that movie. It is not a phenomenal movie to me by any means, but I don't hate it. It's like I watched it and I was like, yeah, okay. And I think I've watched it maybe twice total since it came out 5 years ago.
Dozens of times.
Yeah, but I like it. But I'm in the same boat as what you guys were talking about the whole the Smodcast, the podcast from Kevin Smith, because I actually went to see them live in Los Angeles when they were there. Nice. I bought my tickets and went and seen them in the theater, and it was great. And I remember like everything Kevin Smith at the time. I had all of his Evening with Kevin Smith DVDs. I have all of his fucking movies, Mallrats and Clerks and Dogma and all that shit. And I remember going, oh my God, he wants to do horror. But in my opinion, the best horror that he's ever done was Red State.
Oh my God, Red State was so good. And did you ever hear what the fucking the real ending was supposed to be?
No.
But real ending. The real ending, but it wasn't in the budget or something happened. But like, the end of the world actually happens.
Ooh.
And like Archangel Michael, who's supposed to be like a giant, fucking just steps on someone and like, yeah, it's supposed to be literally like the second coming of Christ type of shit. And I was like, oh man, that would have been great.
Sounds like something he would have written too, which is the best part, right? So I would have loved to have seen that.
He actually just released a 90-minute documentary on the day of, completely for free on YouTube, the making of Tusk.
Yeah.
Nice. Definitely check that out then. So Tusk, 5-year anniversary. Kevin Smith horror. Body horror, nonetheless.
Yeah.
About a man who gets turned into a walrus.
Part of a trilogy.
The Canadian, or what is it?
Canadian horror.
The Canadian horror, the Northern horror trilogy.
But did he ever do Moose Jaws yet?
No.
No.
He did Yoga Hosers, and it got really bad reviews.
The Frankenfurter Nazi characters and
Yeah.
shit. It was weird.
I mean, I loved it because it's campy as all get out, but
Campy as shit,
it
yes.
got really bad reviews.
And it got
was-
weird, man.
Oh yeah, it was pretty much just a film for his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
I was gonna say, and Johnny Depp like appears in the movie.
Oh,
It's
of
even
course.
Yeah,
weirder,
he's
man.
reprising his role as the inspector.
Guy Lafont.
Yeah.
Franck, yes, exactly. Oh well, man. Okay, Tusk, 5 years.
Yep. The best way is you gotta get someone who doesn't understand or doesn't like big into horror, and you just tell them, go watch this movie. Don't Google it. Don't look it up. You just sit down with them and you watch it. And their reaction from start to finish is priceless.
Well, it's because it's a bit of a drawn-out movie.
Yeah.
It's a slow
It doesn't immediately
burn
make you
with
think
everything.
it's a walrus movie. Like, no one is going into the first saying Justin Long, the dickweed podcaster, oh, he's going to end up a walrus.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Robert Englund here, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger. I'm watching and listening. They cast from the coast. You better or else.
All right, moving on. Moving on.
Yep.
American Horror Story's back.
Yep.
American Horror Story, 1984. Slasher, 80s slasher extravaganza. Who's seen the first episode?
Haven't seen it yet.
I'm waiting. I'm letting them build up.
He's going to binge it. So, go ahead.
But the promotional material, whoever's editing their photos, oh man, I want to talk to that guy. Because he's just getting like this aesthetic that's like, it looks vintage, but it looks modern, and the colors pop. Like, it's just, whoever did the promotional material, like the promo posters and stuff, it's just
Yeah.
real nice.
They're on fucking point. They're fucking great.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, I watched the first episode, but I watched half of it, and then I watched the full thing like the next day or something. I'd forgot what night it was coming on, and I was actually traveling for business. I was coming back from Connecticut, and I had been traveling all day, and it was like Connecticut to Dulles in Washington, then Washington to Toronto, then it was supposed to be Toronto to Halifax. I get into Toronto, and I'm in Toronto Pearson down at one of the terminals, and I'm delayed by like 4 hours for my flight. So I go down to the end of the terminal, and Rogers, in the middle of Canada, out in like Ontario and stuff, Rogers is like our Bell. They got cable internet and cable TV and everything else. So they had like these huge booths up where they had like 4 TVs, like 2 here and 2 facing the other way, and these big couch sofa things. And it was like, you sit down with the little iPad, you put in your email address, and you can watch like an hour's free Rogers cable. So I put in, like an email address, and I said, give me an hour. And I was like, ooh, look at that. American Horror Story 1984 is coming on in like 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, great. So I turned it on, not even thinking, because this is at like 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night or whatever, right? Not even thinking. And I'm watching it, and this is great. The sucky thing was that they had True Motion on the TV, so it kind of made it look shitty. But as it went through, all of a sudden it gets like halfway through the episode, and one of the girls is like, I've masturbated to videos of you. And this is like booming in the middle of the terminal, and I'm like, shit! Tried to turn down the volume. Can't turn down the volume because they have sound bars for like the true surround experience or whatever the hell it was. So like the volume remote's turned in on the TV, but the sound bar's still blasting all this. And all of a sudden it just turns into like sex and shit in the water. And I'm like, damn it! So I like had to turn the channel. I'm like, I'll watch the rest when I get home. But it was just, and I'm sitting here looking around the terminal. There's hardly anybody there, but I know there was probably somebody going, fuck is he watching? What an asshole. You know what I mean?
Adam the airport pervert.
Adam the airport pervert. Thank you, Josh. That's exactly how I felt that night. Adam the airport pervert. But no, it was I watched the whole episode when I got home. Fantastic. It was everything that I wanted the first episode of this season to be, and I will continue to watch it. It's going to be great. I think the next episode comes on in a couple of days, actually.
Be interesting to see how they tie it into the whole American Horror Story lore.
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, something that I thought that was really cool was they actually had, they actually have a real serial killer in the series this year. The Night Stalker. He's actually in the series. It's not the actual guy, but it's he looks just like him. And he plays the Night Stalker, and he's hunting some people in this. It's pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. Suggested. Check it out. Let's kind of go back to something that we talked about for about 5 seconds at the beginning. It all ties into, unfortunately, SID HAIG. 3 from Hell, though.
Yeah.
It's come out. So people have already seen it.
Super exclusive.
Couple
theaters.
Theaters. But the reviews.
From what I heard, the film itself launched super successfully. They made a ton of money doing this select theater thing, and the reviews coming back are total dog shit. The biggest one they posted on Bloody Disgusting was just ripping the movie apart. Now, can you take credence with that? I mean,
have you ever seen well-received?
That's just it.
Reviewed Rob Zombie film?
Yeah.
Either you get it or you don't.
That's what I'm thinking. I reserve judgment for when I see it myself.
Yeah. I've been pleasantly surprised by Rob Zombie movies in the past. One of the ones that Tim always told me to go back and rewatch was Lords of Salem.
Yeah.
Because at my first viewing of it, it was torturous to me. I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? But then Tim said, no, you've seen it once. Go back and watch it again. I guarantee a second viewing, it's much better. And yeah, I 100% agree. I really do like the movie now. But it took 2 viewings to get there.
And I feel that way with 31. I know 31 was kind of an experimental, Kickstarter, crowd-funded movie or whatever, and a lot of people were involved. I'm not a fan of that movie, even though the very opening scene is probably one of the best written, acted scenes Rob Zombie has ever made, with the whole Doomhead and... Well, no, he just walks in and starts delivering this amazing monologue to the captured priest or pastor or whatever that he has, and I show that to people, because I got the video saved on YouTube. That's what I want a Joker to be. Because it's so, it's dark, and he delivers this, monologue about, cockroaches, and then, he says, in hell, everybody loves popcorn. The whole scene I fucking love, but then the rest of the movie's meh. Meh.
Yeah. I mean, we know Sid's not going to play a pivotal role, but I think he's got probably a couple cameos, I'm sure.
He's probably at least got one of the best lines in the entire movie, too.
Yeah.
Well, from what I read, he's got one scene, and it's a good, memorable scene, but it's one scene. Because they shot it in, a morning.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Fair
enough. We get to see him one less time on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be digging that. So, reviews are kind of up and down. The people are saying that it's good, but the review critics are basically saying it's dog shit. Believe what you want to believe, and basically make your own judgment is really what that comes
until
to.
We review it, and then listen to us.
Yeah, listen to us.
Because we're not just critics. We're average Joes. We like these. We like these movies. We love everything horror. So
like Tusk.
Like fucking Tusk. That's right, Josh. That's right, Josh.
Like Tusk.
That's right. Last thing we'll talk about, just kind of topic-wise, and then we'll just got a couple other things to discuss. There's some new 4K releases coming out that's exciting Josh, apparently.
No. Bullshit.
Bullshit?
Hate Tired of it. Dumb.
Hard? No?
Stupid.
Stupid? What are they, Josh?
I want reverse. Give me the grainiest, shittiest looking copy of The Evil Dead, and I'll watch it all day, every day.
Well, That I can agree to.
4K Evil Dead is unnecessary and not great. I mean, I'll buy it when it comes out, but
he's got to have everything Evil Dead as possible.
I'd much rather just watch like the VHS copy. That's not a film that translates good into high definition. Oh, I can see wires and boom mics.
The grainier, the better.
Yeah. The Shining, though, that's getting a 4K release, too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Kubrick in 4K. I've witnessed some Kubrick in 4K, and it's pretty fucking spectacular. There was a demo reel that I watched, and it had like a bunch of like the upcoming movies, and it was like Best Buy or something, and they had it playing, and it was like The Shining. They had like they had like 2 or 3 Kubrick movies with everything else. It was like The Shining, 2001: Space Odyssey, and Full Metal Jacket, I think, or something else. And they were showing all these clips, and I was like, wow, like Kubrick is a master of the vision. And the
absolutely.
View.
And he puts so many details in every scene to the like a can of corn facing a certain direction and stuff like that. Like seeing that in 4K is just going to be.
There's going to be
it's funny.
I've never noticed before.
I was on YouTube, and a video popped up saying that Batman 1989 was released in 4K.
Yep.
So they had a scene. I don't have a 4K TV. I watched it, like I said, on YouTube. But wow, like I got really into the scene. It was the whole scene at Ace Chemicals where Batman first meets Jack Napier, and that whole scene. And I was like, holy shit, I haven't been excited about this Batman movie since I was a kid. Like, this is fucking dope. So, yeah, 4K.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless, 1080p high-def movies always look great, but 4K movies downgraded to 1080 even look better. It's been proven multiple times that 4K transfers watched in standard high-def look beyond what we get for just Blu-ray nowadays anyway, so looks great.
Yep.
We'll just kind of finish off the roundtable with just, a little bit of anything that we've been doing lately. Tim, you've got something you wanted to tell everybody about.
So I recently got my hands on a PlayStation VR set. And it was for my kid for, for grading. No, he mentioned about, he just wanted to try it. We were at a convention once, and they had, like, Oculus set up, or HTC, I can't remember. But they had VR set up, and he was playing Beat Saber, and he was like, that was amazing. So he wanted that same experience at home. So I got a really good deal on it, and said, fuck it, and... it's like probably one of the coolest purchases I've ever had. It's funny that I ended up getting it like the day before my birthday, so it was like it's my birthday present. So, anyways, really strapped for games. And it's understandable the technology's not there, but I played Resident Evil 7 Biohazard in virtual reality, and it was probably one of the most amazing, horrific horror experiences of my life, because the game on its own, if you're just playing it on the TV, is very anxiety inducing, and but you play this fucking shit in VR, and the cool thing is like I felt the urge to stand up. So I was standing the whole time, just so the eye line was right, and I'm walking and shit, and like, it was amazing. It was amazing. I don't know how many times I had almost like panic attacks, and like.
Should have a warning label on the package. Bring an extra pair of pants.
Like, yeah.
Because it will scare the shit out of you.
Well, and one of the cool things is like the way they have it set up, as far as like aiming, it's where you look, right? So I'm going, and all of a sudden, a thing pops out of the wall. It got to the point where I would look and shoot, but I'd go, ah! And I'd shoot, and it would be a headshot. And it was like kind of reaction, but I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to be awesome in a real zombie apocalypse. Like, boom, headshot, boom, right? So, yeah, and the thing is I had the benefit, I never played the game beforehand. It was kind of one of those games that was on the list. I'll get around to it. I'm so happy that my first experience playing it was in VR.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was amazing, and I want more full games in VR.
Oh, definitely.
Well, absolutely. And the best part is that we went to go see it that day, and I came over to Tim's house, and he was like, you got to try this. And he pops it on, and he's like, I'll get you to a fun point. And I pop on the headset, and for anybody who's played the game, it was the point in which the father is like chasing you through the fucking house. And I'm like, you throw me right into the mix of this, you bastard. So I'm like screeching a little bit, like running around in the corridors trying to find out where the hell I am. And all I can hear is Tim in the background go, don't go there. Don't go. Nope. Turn the fuck around. You're going to regret that. But even though I've played the game multiple times, the experience was so much different, you almost forget what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
You literally just start freaking out and panicking.
Well, I mean, if there's one spoilers. There's one scene where you're fighting your possessed wife, Mia, and she takes a screwdriver and nails your hand to the wall, and you're like fiddling to get it out. You're getting it out, and then she comes back. She's got a chainsaw, and you immediately, instinctively block, and she cuts your arm off, and like I'm looking at it going, what the like, it felt weird, because I'm looking at it, and it's through my eyes, but, like, my arm's on the floor, and, yeah.
It's amazing how the technology tricks your brain so quickly. Like, yeah. I have a few that are, like, rail shooters, and you're on a roller coaster, and you can click, you can feel it in your gut that you're about to go down.
No, it's really cool, and I like I said, I'm hoping that, this is, a thing that they can, like, I hope the next Resident Evil, like the official entry, also has that ability that you can play it in VR, because, like, it was fucking awesome. It was awesome. Like, you could hide around the corner, and, like, he wouldn't see you, and, like, you're like, whoop, nope, not going that way, or, like, ducking and shit. Like, it was cool. It was really cool.
Nice.
I was in a horror movie, and it was awesome. Yeah.
That's good. Josh, got anything to throw at us?
Yeah, not really. I spent some time this last weekend here.
No.
I spent the time in a little cabin out in the middle of nowhere. Had some pretty serious Evil Dead vibes, or some, like, Crystal Lake vibes. It was good.
Yeah, the pictures were cool. Nice place. Yeah, not a lot else going on here either. I seen a couple of movies recently. I mean, I'll recommend one of them for sure. I seen that new Eli Roth produced one, Haunt.
Oh, okay.
And that intrigued me because I work in a haunted house, during the month of October anyway. So I was kind of like intrigued to say, what the fuck is this movie about, really? Obviously it's a haunt, right? It was kind of like a mix between, like, say, Escape Room, Saw, something else, really.
Yep.
It had an interesting twist as to who the hell was running the haunt, but I gotta admit, I kind of almost seen it coming from a mile away as to what exactly it was. There was little hints of it all throughout the place. But all in all, not a bad movie. It actually kind of ended I'll tell you what else it kind of reminded me of. The collection type of movies. So it had a vibe of, like, collection type of movies too, and it was pretty good. And with that, I'll mention that that's one other thing that we really need to kind of mention here real quick. They've officially started filming The Collected. Number 3. With Tom Atkins.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. So that's going to be an interesting one. But go ahead, Tim. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. We're waiting.
They started filming the sequel to Halloween. They began filming Halloween Kills for release next year. I'm super duper looper excited for this movie. I was a big fan of the 2018.
Yep.
I thought it did justice to the lore and the like spirit of the original while keeping it fresh and doing something new and modern. I'm really excited to see where they take it next. And I mean, I think it's cool that they, announced that they're not only doing one, but they're doing two more of them. So Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends, and then that's it. No more Michael Myers.
Well, let's not get silly.
No, I kind of believe them.
Yeah, I don't.
After that, they'll remake Season of the Witch.
Yeah, they'll be back.
Yeah,
They might give it a little while, but they'll be back. They,
Like I said,
have such a money-making property and just say, yeah, we're done with that. We've made enough money.
Well,
Just
like I
come
said,
up with a new money-making property.
They could do a total Season of the Witch where they decide to go a different direction. All of a sudden, people go, no! And then they go, okay, fine, he's really alive. Here, it's okay.
Yep.
Have some more Michael Myers.
No, but aside from doing a reboot, you can't really fucking continue this story.
Yeah,
Honestly.
they will.
No, you can't. You can't. It's dumb. It's dumb. I like the idea that, hey, we're finishing it. It's going to be done.
Yeah, I like that too. And I like it because even though the new movies are going to be a trilogy, it's a trilogy because it's the 3 new ones that they made.
Yep.
And, just keeping the original as what it is. So,
Yeah.
I like it. Well, gentlemen, it's been some good discussions tonight.
Yep.
What, you're calling it?
I'm calling it.
A night there, Adam.
We're gonna call it.
Calling
boys. Yeah, but you know what? I'm not fucking done. I'm not done.
What do you want to talk about, Tim?
I have been watching, and I'm not finished it yet, the Netflix original Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne, and I know you guys haven't watched it yet, but it's really well shot. The story is really, really good. It's got like Stephen King vibes. You should check it out.
Does it have any walruses?
No.
Oh.
That's the French one, right?
Yeah, it's the one. But like even the dubbing, I usually don't like dub movies, but it's pretty good.
Unless it's intentionally dubbed bad, I love those. But
yeah, yeah, but like it's really it's a well-made movie.
So really does it take place in like Paris or something?
Yep, that's where it takes place.
Okay,
because it's
You said French.
Yeah, it takes place in Paris, and she's. Go ahead.
I said it could have been Quebec. What do you think? Paris is the only place that speaks French? Come on now.
I mean, who wants to film in Quebec?
Yeah, I know.
It's true. Go ahead. Tim.
But I mean, I've been to Paris, and I wouldn't want to film there either.
Yeah, no.
The whole city kind of reeks of piss.
There you go.
To all our French listeners.
No, it's like I said, I recommend it. I thought it was. I wasn't expecting much. I didn't know anything about it, and I needed something new to watch. And I think it's 8 episodes or 10 episodes, but just the style of it. She's a writer, a horror writer, and something happened in her past, and she gets these fucking nightmares, and she basically takes these nightmares and puts them into books, and her way of dealing with it is she created a character that kicks the witch's ass, and the bad dreams stopped. She's finishing the series, the dreams come back. So it's her dealing with that, and it's pretty good. Like, the special effects are really good. There's a really good creepy vibe to it. There was an episode I watched the other night where there's this little girl underneath the bed, and her eyes are kind of glowing, like not glowing, but like reflecting, like cat's eyes reflect light when it's dark. And yeah, it was creepy.
Well, for anybody who remembers, that kind of shit is what gets Tim.
And
eyes in the dark.
I have a bunch of fucking shit under my bed, so there's no little girls under there. Little demon, glowing eyes girls.
Right on. Yeah. Right on.
All right.
All good. No, I'll be checking that one out too. You've been recommending it heavily now for the past couple weeks, so that's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the list, so
we'll see if you actually watch it.
I mean, I don't know how I'll make time with rewatching Breaking Bad and The Office, so
Yeah, but you know what? Breaking Bad and The Office aren't... Well, The Office is going somewhere, but...
Oh, well. You're just getting ready for El Camino.
That's right.
So, we'll deal with that. All right, guys. I think it is time to say goodbye.
Wrap her up.
We're wrapping it up now. Don't want to
What do you
force any
think,
more
Tim?
topics. What do you think, Tim?
Do you have something else you'd like to talk about, Tim?
No.
Okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever. We won't talk about anything else.
We won't talk about anything else. That's right.
We'll just call it.
We're gonna
Call it a night.
We're gonna call it a night. All right,
The old
gentlemen.
Dusty Trail.
So we're gonna call this episode for the night, and everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe, share, leave comments, anything that you want us to talk about, and we have future episodes that are going to be once again reviewing episodes. So we'll go from there, and until next time, Tim,
Stay spooky, everybody.
Josh,
Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Good night!